We're finally back in America after 12 months from the last Roadrunner trip. My friend here, Rick Ehrenberg, from Marlborough, New York.
That's Marlborough to you.
We've got another little adventure happening, and we're about to see the Charger for the first time.
Yeah, Brian picked up a 68 Charger off of Craigslist, sight unseen. I went and looked at it in the dead of last winter. We had it delivered, and this is Brian's first time seeing the thing. We are in Marlborough, New York, as we said, which is about 100 kilometers north of New York City in the Hudson Valley, which is pretty rural, on the edge of rural, far suburban. Anyway, we're going to take a look at this thing. It came with a whole bunch of spare body parts. So,
also, it was an unusual way we bought the car. I haven't done before. I remember how you, would you have a device? Do you have your phone? How did we buy it?
Oh yeah, I Skyped Brian videos of the car when I went up to look at it in the dead of winter. There was a foot of snow on the ground and whatnot.
And it was actual time, it wasn't?
Real time. He saw it real time. He had me check different facets of the car out. We actually checked and saw that the engine wasn't seized, and it doesn't seem to be.
Yeah.
And this is now Brian's first time seeing it in the flesh. I had it covered with a tarp, which I pulled off about an hour ago. Picked up Brian at the train late last night, and
here we go.
Here we go. Here goes nothing.
And there she is. So it's a 68 Charger. That's a HP 383 4-barrel. Factory air conditioned, drum brake car. Bucket seats, column auto, but pretty solid on the whole. I mean, there's a few issues of rust.
Solid?
Yeah, pretty solid.
Pretty solid, yeah. Pretty solid, yeah. Oh, okay. I guess everything is relative.
That's minor. We don't worry about
that's
stuff like
minor,
that.
yeah. The fact that there's no roof on the car.
Someone started the restoration, if you like, but they didn't get very far. So they've started to take the roof skin off. We have a brand new roof skin waiting to go on it. So that's one of the jobs we're going to get onto once we see if the engine's any good and if it's going to run. So we have had the engine cranking over. That's as far. That was last winter. So yeah. So we're just going to have a giggle, and it should be up a bit further towards the back and the centre there. Someone, you got to stretch back a little bit. You got your tongue in the right place?
Yeah, my tongue is in the wrong place. We're Mopar guys, I can't even open the hood. Yeah, that's what I thought it was. You said. So I picked up a battery, which we haven't even hooked up yet.
Yeah.
And we're going to hook up the battery cables, ether it, and see if it starts. We know the petrol tank, fuel lines, and probably the fuel pump are garbage. The original Carter AVS
still in place. Yeah.
Actually, it doesn't look too bad.
Looks cleanish on the inside, like it's been running at some stage. Yeah, it's not seized.
No, it's not.
It'll probably run terrible. We'll see.
Yeah, you never know.
You never know. So
we will know very soon.
We'll hit it and have a hit and giggle and see if it does anything.
One thing, I'm just curious to see if there's any chance of the AC working. It looks old, rotted, but what I usually do, to give you a hint, go to the service valve over here and see if there's any Freon in it. Look at that. Wow.
Yeah, it's got quite a bit of pressure.
Yeah. Look at that upper radiator. It's completely wrong, rubbing on the compressor.
Looks like it's been changed. Yeah.
Oh, for sure. That's not original. So this is a good sign. We may have working A.
That's going to be important in this weather.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Righto.
So now I'm going to ether it. I'm going to leave the choke on. But you guys in Australia don't even know what a choke is. I'm going to ether the living hell out of it.
Are you ready?
Go. Battery cable loose, no doubt. Alright, I patched up the battery terminals, which is really junk. I'm going to give it another little squirt of ether.
Take two.
And here we go. I'm backing away. Hold it.
Not promising that bit.
It's got, first of all, it sounds like it's got compression in at least 6 or 7 cylinders. And I don't think it's got spark. I'll ether it again, but I don't think it's got spark. It would have done something like that. Go. Alright. a time. Let's see if it's got spark.
Ignition on?
No, off, please.
Oh. You don't want to spark?
Okay, hang on, I'll tell you when. Okay, I'm gonna see if I can see any semblance of the spark. I put it in shade. Go.
Alright.
Yeah. No spark, no spark. Okay. Now the question is it...
Power source?
Go get the DVM
Cool.
again.
Yep.
We'll see if it's got...
Okay, let's go for another try.
So
Let's just see.
we got spark. We got to change the points in condenser. First we thought it was the coil. The coil was fine. Points in condenser were shot. Now we rigged up a fuel line because we know that the fuel pump and tank and all that has to be completely rotted. I'm going up on a step ladder here. Brian, move the camera. I'm pouring some fuel into a funnel here. Whoa! Oh, the funnel's attached, luckily. I don't know if you can see that.
Let's have.
Try and fill the carburetor. Well, fill it. Fucking messy. Well, this is not the best thing to pour from. It has no spout. I had gasoline to clean my hands. Okay. We assume that there's some fuel in the carburetor now. Stop. Right, I got the choke propped about half open.
Good spot.
I'm going to ether it and see what I'm taking this fuel away and the ether. First fire. Close. More ether. Hold it. I'm going to give it another spritz. Go ahead. Put more fuel in the funnel real quick. All right, hang on. I only have enough to run it for a few seconds. But it does start. I didn't see a whole lot of smoke.
No. It sounds like a plug.
Almost out of ether. All right, go for it. Well, it doesn't sound great, but we think we're going to try a fuel pump, and we won't even try this original fuel pump. It's sitting for 25 years. We'll put a new fuel pump in, dip a hose from the fuel pump into a can of gas, petrol, and see what happens.
It sounds a little better each time, though.
Well, you want to give it, go ahead, fill up the what? Gas tank.
One more.
Yeah. Yeah, Brian's going to fill up the gas tank one more time. I'm sorry, petrol tank.
We've done that joke already.
Yeah, I know. Oh, that junk, yeah. That thing is just junk. You have to squeeze it and push it in. It's a safety design, yeah. Spilling gas all over your house is safe, huh? Whatever. Typical U.S. government idiot.
Well, it's just a poor design. The idea's all
yeah.
right. Just a poor design.
All right, that's good. You can go up and fill up the gas tank. The fuel tank. How about we call it a fuel tank?
Now.
That's the same in both countries, right? Oh, you're worse than I am.
Oh,
jeez.
well, it's not the right
you
sort of
animal.
thing to put in there.
Look at you.
Look at me. It's got no tip on it. I'll try and rest it on there to see if that
It
helps.
was some plant that I put in the garden. Going down, but it's not leaking here, so it's going into the carburetor for sure.
Why don't you crank it up so you can keep it running and top it up?
Let me give it. Oh, I'm almost out of ether.
Yeah. Starting a bit easier each time.
Keeping this away from the car too.
Don't
ask me how I've learned all these little tricks.
Keep
the carburetor stuff away.
You've got to tickle the throttle a little bit. Let you run for a while. This is not going down.
Good. This driver's seat's like sitting on the jump. guess. Mighty fine motor vehicle.
Righto, that's a wrap for now. Okay, getting a little bit sidetracked. We're going to look at a car.
Yeah,
which is
not a car. A car.
A car. Which is not unusual for me, but I am looking at a late model Dodge Charger 2010. So just a bit of fun, not a lot of money. So we're just heading out now to Danbury, Connecticut. I got my expert driver, a local yokel, Rick. He's my tech support as well, because buying a car like this in another country, there are other different laws, and Rick's the man. He knows the laws because it's his area.
You know, I don't know how different it is than buying a car in Australia. You gotta, I don't know what kind of tax you pay in Australia. In most U.S. states, you pay sales tax, which is not that different than your VAT.
Yeah, we have taxes too.
Yeah, you know. And then you gotta buy insurance. I know, at least in the state Brian is from, Victoria, when you buy the license plates, they come with liability insurance, but not in New York. You have to first buy at least liability insurance, then go to what we call the DMV, Department of Motor Vehicles. I guess you call it Vic Roads.
Yeah.
And you buy the license plates.
Yeah.
And then you have 10 days to pass what we call state inspection, what you call a roadworthy.
Yeah.
And then you're good for, well, you got to get it inspected once a year, but the license plates are good for 2 years. Then you got to pay a renewal fee. It's not a overly complex procedure. This one we're looking at, unbelievably, it was government owned.
Yeah.
But it only had one owner. It's almost 10 years old.
Yeah.
So we're hopeful. Brian thought it was a police car, and the guy had it advertised. It has the police package and has column shift automatic, but it looks like it wasn't ever used in police service. Maybe it was used by the dog catcher, or a building inspector, a tax collector, or who knows.
But what's the most important aspect of this particular vehicle? While we go on this particular vehicle, that's the Hemi.
Oh well, yeah, of course. That thing got a Hemi.
Got to have a Hemi, or we're not driving it.
Oh yeah, well we know.
At least in a new car, anyway.
And the reason Brian wanted to get an early first generation Charger, but I pointed out to him that in 2009, the 5.7 Hemi came in for some significant improvements. New cylinder heads, the engineering term are Apache heads, and they flow very well. New plastic intake manifolds, keeps the cool air, air fuel, just air and cooler. And most important, variable cam timing. So the horsepower went up, I don't know, 40 horsepower over the early ones, but gobs more low-end torque.
Is it? Oh, he's smoking in my car.
Are you kidding?
No.
Oh yeah, you're gonna get him going
So,
by. We bought it.
We bought it.
And here it comes. We're going back with him to get some paperwork. Apparently, it was a police car for the first few years, and then used by the same towns, or what do you call it, Shire?
Yeah, probably Shire.
Dog catcher. Animal control officer, they call it. But, they gave it a fancy term. Well, it's still a dog catcher. You have dog catchers in Australia?
Yeah. So
LED Chimsel.
So we're just following him back now to his someplace. He's going to help us with organise out the registration side of things, and then hopefully we can be driving it.
Yep.
So
And apparently he's going to follow us to my place and take his plates back.
Oh, I didn't hear him say that.
Yeah, I think that's what's happening.
Yeah. Can't complain about that.
No.
Anyway, we'll touch base a bit more when we've got a bit more to show. Okay, we've been messing around for the Charger a couple of days now. Just giving a bit of a clean, really nothing much. Changing the brake so I can ship the car back home. So just have a bit of a look around. We've spent a couple of hours getting off all the sticky stuff off the front of the car. It had the whole, if you look at the picture before, the nose was black and it was basically vinyl wrap. So Took a bit of messing around, got sore fingers for 2 days after that. But come up pretty good. Most of the paint looks pretty decent. There's hardly a parking dent in it. So really cheap motoring. Now, thanks to my friend Rick, we've got the car on the road legally, New York plates, so I can drive this around now. Wouldn't have been able to do it without Rick's help. A lot of messing around. Just go down the side. I'm waiting on all the badges. The badges have been taken off for the police decals. I'm waiting all the badges to go on the boot lid. And Hemi badges for the front fenders. Got the factory police wheels, which are 18 inch by 7.5 inch wide. Amazing for a standard. Well, it's actually got a police package, so heavier duty wheels. It's got heavy duty suspension, bigger brakes. The brake diameter on the rotors at the back are 13.5 inches. The rotors on their own. It's amazing. They're huge. Extra dark tint windows. It's pretty clean inside. Probably a bit dark. You probably can't hardly see that. Of course, the factory police cars have got column shift, and it's pretty cool. It's got a I'll show you. It's got a button upshift on the gear shift itself, a bit like the paddle shift you would have had on the steering wheel, but on this car it's on the gear shift. So if you look at the shifter here, it's got a button. You can barely tell. It's got a plus and minus button here, and you can shift it up or shift it down. So pretty cool. You get on the throttle and hit the downshift, and away you go. It's really good. All the air condition works good. Only 110,000 miles. So all in all, pretty clean. So I've already done about probably a couple hundred miles in it already, just driving around. So this is what happens when you mess around with cars and you're in the country of cars. You get sidetracked. Before you know it, you got even more cars that I probably don't need, but what's need got to do with it? So we're still waiting on some parts. The old Charger's up the back there. It's got a list of parts waiting to come, so once they turn up we'll be able to get that running, put the new wheels, tyres back on it, change the front bumper and start getting that car in shape. Just waiting on a few parts to arrive, and then we've got another surprise. Once again, being a car nut, looking where I shouldn't look, which is cars for sale. I found something else, so we'll see that coming up. Just waiting on a few days for everything getting sorted, and we're going to get in and pick that new car up. So it looks like I'm going to have a container load where I'm going. Anyway, we'll keep you updated. Hey Charger.